be sparking and rushing, mad like inside the dark. Call me Bill Snatcher, just the brother for the rapture. I hang live, holding on strong, hard to capture, extravagant. Resurrect the track and it's militant, and I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifested. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my sacred life.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? So today I want to talk to you guys about what happened in Boruto chapter 40. In particular, I want to talk to you guys about whether or not Boro of Kara is actually using scientific ninja tools in his battle with Boruto, Kawaki, and Team 7. So if you're an anime only viewer, I want to thank you for your support, but this is the time of the month where a lot of the content is going to be spoiler heavy, so I thank you for your support. If you want to read the Boruto manga and do so in a way that helps support the channel, I'll leave links down in the description box for you guys to read the manga. But if you're still here, then I'm gonna assume you're okay with me talking about spoilers. So in the last Boruto chapter, you have this very mysterious moment where you have someone like Boro who is fighting against Team 7, and he clearly knows ninjutsu. Like every time Sarada activates her Sharingan, she's watching as this dude is weaving hand signs, and every time Boro uses those hand signs, he's taking a Rasengan, he's taking the karma attacks from Kawaki, he's fighting against Mitsuki, he's recovering damage, he's regenerating. We definitely know that this guy knows ninjutsu. I mean, he used the lava release jutsu, which is a Genkai, and he was mixing in acid when he was doing so. So we definitely know that this is somebody in Kara who has a bit of ninjutsu training. That much is obvious. However, there's a moment in the manga where I paused for a second, and it made me wonder, is this dude actually using scientific ninja tools? And I want to go a step further. When you look at the Kara organization, what was one of the things that we found out? The Kara organization, if I'm not mistaken, were the people who on the back end were the ones who brainwashed Katasuke and took part in that whole debacle where the scientific ninja tools ended up being stolen from the Hidden Leaf Village. Now this is what was introduced in the manga. I know the anime has changed a few things around, but if I'm not mistaken, they left that bit intact. And what I find so interesting about this is the fact that we don't know what type of scientific ninja tools that Katasuke was working on. All we know is that Kara has them, and ever since this has happened, so in the year since the end of the Versus Momoshiki arc, we've been introduced to Delta. Delta clearly has scientific ninja tools. Delta clearly has robotic enhancements to her body, and while she did use chakra, at the same time, when you look at her eye, that's clearly some type of a mechanical enhancement. And now when you look at Boro on the side of his body, on particular when it comes to his head, he has mechanic enhancements as well. And when you look at the fight with Kawaki and Boruto and Mitsuki, we have this moment where all of a sudden they're looking and they're trying to find a way to counter this mist. And Mitsuki, like I said in the chapter review, on first glance you would think that he made the bright idea to just use a wind release jutsu to wipe away the mist and then continue the fight. That's something that's a very, very calculated decision. And yet at the same time, Boro just stood there, and then he eventually tells Mitsuki like, hey, what you just did, that's not gonna work. You can't get rid of this mist by using ninjutsu, and if you stay in it long enough, it's gonna eat your body up. And that's something that Boruto, Kawaki, and Mitsuki are aware of, and that's very telling, because at first I thought maybe this is poison mist, but as I was going back and I was listening to the chapter review while reading the questions, I know that's a bit arrogant, it's like, hey, wait a second, who listens to their own chapter review? But as I was going through and I was reading the comments and I was listening to the points, one thing that stood out to me, I was like, wait a second, that's a good point. I said that Mitsuki was getting poison training from Orochimaru when he was a test tube subject, to where Mitsuki has a high tolerance for poison, so something like this really shouldn't affect his body unless it's some type of a poisonous agent that is from outside of Konoha, like you saw with Sasuke in the Sasuke Resident novel, where he's introduced to a poison that is native to Radaku, and Orochimaru hadn't come up with the counter for it, so Sasuke and his poison immunity wasn't able to fight it off. So I thought maybe that's something that's possible, but then as I'm looking at this dude's design and I'm remembering, like, okay, they clearly have a fascination with scientific ninja tech, and when the Boruto series was first coming out, one thing that Kishimoto said is that technology is going to play a part. And even when you go with the Naruto Hiden novels, that was one of the things that was being set up in the Kakashi Hiden novel in the prologue, where you have Naruto basically accepting the fact that technology is going to be moving forward in the future of the franchise, when Naruto has that hilarious example of a floating air balloon, because in the main continuity, so not counting the Naruto Shippuden movies, but just in the main continuity, Naruto hadn't seen flying airships or anything like that before. more. And so the fact that we're getting that type of technology and now is advanced to a point where a lot of this stuff is being weaponized, it leads me to believe, it really leads me to believe that this could indeed be possible. And if so, that means that Boro isn't going to be as unstoppable as we thought, because a lot of people think that, okay, well, Boro was talking crazy to Delta. Well, you can talk crazy to somebody and still not be stronger than them. Now, Delta is the type to start throwing hands if she's going up against somebody, but go back to the chapter 39, when you have that moment when Kawaki is talking about Boro. He says that he's more dangerous than Jigen. He didn't say it's more powerful than Jigen. And it could be one of those things that this dude's scientific ninja tech and this dude's lava release jutsu makes him more dangerous than Delta, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's more powerful than Delta. A lot of people just assume that because of how everyone was talking to Delta, in particular Boro and Code, and the fact that they said like, okay, we'll take turns trying to kill a Hokage. It doesn't necessarily mean that Delta's weaker, or maybe they're on the same wavelength, or Delta is even stronger. That's something that we don't have official confirmation of, but I think that they're alluding to the fact that each of these members in Car, just like the Akatsuki, some of these members are going to have overpowered jutsu, or in this case ninja tech, that's going to make them more dangerous than they actually are. But I want to know from you guys, do you guys think that Boro's using scientific ninja tech? And if he is, do you guys think that that's the best option to go for making some of these members in Car as powerful as they are? But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.